I have a duty as your teacher to provide you with only the best, right? And in literature, what do we do in literature? We learn from the experiences of other people, right? Now, the best example, the Lahore attack by Kumar Sangakkara, is the experience that he has to offer us, right? So we are not cricketers. We have never faced the problems and we have never lived the life that Kumar Sangakkara have lived. But through reading the story, you can, for a brief moment, live a part of Kumar Sangakkara's life. It is like you are Kumar Sangakkara when you read the Lahore attack. Right, fine. The reading session also will begin, don't worry. The reading session will also begin, but before the reading session, we have a small explaining part to do, okay? And I want this to be fun. So you might have noticed in the previous weeks, we bulldozed through the syllabus, right? We covered the chapters really quick. We did analysis. We worked really hard. We worked until 12 o'clock at night every single week because there were a prominent number of pupils who were hoping to face their O-level examination on March. Okay. So that was the entire reason why I wanted to bulldoze through the syllabus. But now that they are not here, now that they are finally destined to write their examination and get A's, yeah, most probably, I will focus on making the lesson a lot more understandable. I will focus on spoon feeding. Now, that's usually teachers don't like spoon feeding, but I believe, especially through online teaching, the teacher must spoon feed the lesson. Even though there are a prominent number of pupils in this classroom at the moment, even though you are from all around the country, okay, and that's something very beautiful. We from all parts of the country are together online in these brief few hours we are together. But if not for online, we will not even have known each other. We will never have even seen each other. But today we are together, and that is something beautiful. That is something I would like to celebrate. And by the way, can you hear the fan on the mic? Can you hear the fan blowing onto the mic? Hands up if you can
No,
hear.
sir. No, no.
Great, great, awesome, awesome. I'm really, really glad because before the fan used to be somewhere here, so I used to turn the fan off. I used to turn the fan off before conducting a lesson. But then I realized I can leave the fan really far away and it would not affect the lesson. So only last week did I realize that, because I'm so focused on the lesson. When I start teaching literature, even though I'm sweating, you might not see me, I'm sweating, it's hot here, but I'm so focused on the lesson. I'm so focused on teaching you literature that I forget that it's even hot inside of here. Right. So now we got that covered. I don't want any distractions from my end, actually. Right. I will not focus. I will not provide any distractions from my end, actually. So we will focus on the Lahore attack. And no, we have not yet done the analysis for farewell to barn and stack entry. But I'm very excited about a new presentation. So we will do the analysis. But looking at looking at a text, looking at an analysis is not that fun, right? Usually, because we are learning online, we have to have something visually appealing. So once we are done with the presentation of the Lahore attack, we will focus on the analysis for farewell to barn and stack entry. By the way, my friend, I love the font you are using. I love the font you are using to send me messages. Keep it up. Right. So now, when we are talking about the Lahore attack, there are a few things that people mess up, especially if you are new to literature, especially if you are a new student. Some kids mess the Lahore attack up really bad. They mess it up really bad. In the end, they will learn about Kumar Sangakkara without learning about the Lahore attack. I remember once I corrected an analysis that was an essay of Kumar Sangakkara. The analysis was an essay of Kumar Sangakkara. There was nothing, very little about the Lahore attack. But here, before we talk about the Lahore attack, before we talk about every aspect about it, let's talk about your Javed sir. Okay, yours truly, your Javed sir. What makes cricket special for Javed sir? Okay, I'm going to tell you a story, a real story from yes. Exactly, from my life, from a part of my life. Okay, some of you might know the story, some of you might not know the story. Some of you might have heard of the person I'm going to talk about now, right? So it's an awesome story, right? So I was named after a famous cricketer. Okay, his name is Javed Miandad. So my name is Javed Osan. My father was a huge fan of Javed Miandad. He was a cricketer when I was the year that I was born. He did something amazing the year I was born. That's why my father decided to name me Javed. So if I should be really grateful for cricket, because if I was not named Javed, I would have been given a different name. Right now, let me tell you a story. So when I was not even born, right, I was still a fetus. I was in my mother's belly. Okay, my father was heavily obsessed with this person you see on the screen now. Okay, do you know what his name is? Do you know what this guy's name is? Hands up if you know his name.
Bruce Lee.
Yeah, some people know his name is Bruce Lee. Okay, he's Bruce Lee. He's still famous. Raise your hands up if you know his name. Right, a lot of you know him. Uh, very strange. Okay, Bruce Lee was famous in the 80s. Bruce Lee was famous in the 80s. Right, around 20, 30 of you know who Bruce Lee is. Now, this dude was famous in the 80s. So that means before I was born, but my father was a heavy, crazy fan of Bruce Lee. So now there were two children in my family, me and my sister. My sister and I were the children. My mother named my sister. My mother named my sister. So my father wanted to name me, right? So he was like, and he was a lawyer, so he was very fair. Okay, he was like, you named our daughter, so then I will name our son. And he was about to name me. He was now thinking of names to name me, and everybody thought that he was going to name me Bruce Lee. I'm not kidding, okay? My father was a crazy fan of Bruce Lee. Now, these days, girls are fans of BTS, boys are fans of The Rock. There are Roman Reigns. So my father was a crazy fan of Bruce Lee, and he wanted to name me Bruce Lee. Okay? But now my father had two favorite people. One was a martial artist named Bruce Lee. The other person was a cricketer named Javed Miandad. And there's a crazy story where my father decided to name me Javed Miandad. An uncle told me this story. One of my uncles told me this story very long ago. Um, there was a match, okay? There was a match between Pakistan and India. Javed Miandad was a Pakistani cricketer. So back in the day when Pakistan and India were in a cricket match, it was like a war, right? Because even the real countries, Pakistan and India, were at war, right? So then a small cricket match was enjoyed throughout the world. Right now, my dad in Sri Lanka was watching the match between India and Pakistan. In the end of the match, to win the match, Pakistan had to score 6 runs in the final ball. Okay. Now, sometimes you might not know how to play cricket, but those of you who know to play, those of you who know the rules of cricket, you'll understand what I'm saying now. If you don't understand what 6 runs is, what the final ball is, you'll understand this in the end of the session once I explain the Lahore attack to you. So now Javed Miandad was batting, and he had to score 6 runs to win the match. Okay, everybody thought it was impossible. Now, obviously, you can't bat 6 runs in the final ball, right? If you miss that ball, you lose. If you hit that ball also, you lose if you don't score 6 runs. So Javed Miandad batting and waiting for the ball to be pitched, and he scores 6 runs. Okay, he was the first ever cricketer in international cricket to score 6 runs in a cricket match, and that was against India. So I told you, India and Pakistan were at war, and their simple cricket match was considered to be a war. So everybody lost their mind. Even my father was crazy about the situation. Nobody expected that. Everybody in one single day, okay, in one single day, Javed Miandad became world famous. He was already famous, but in that one single day, he was everywhere, all over the papers, all over the TV, all over the radio. You found Javed Miandad. So Bruce Lee was on the top of the list. Javed Miandad was on the bottom of the list, but after the 6 runs, Javed Miandad came on top of the list. Now imagine if Javed Miandad did not score 6 runs that day. Okay, when I was in my mother's belly, when my mother was pregnant, my father watching the cricket match. Imagine if Javed Miandad didn't score 6 runs that day. you would be most probably attending a class of Bruce Lee sirs. You would not be attending Javed sir's class. So I'm very grateful that Javed Miandad scored 6 runs on that day. If not, you would be a student of not Javed sir, you would be a student of Bruce Lee sirs. So crazy story, but true. It's crazy, but it's true. So even I share a very prominent thing with cricket. That is my name. All right, I was named because of cricket. If not for cricket, if not for Javed Miandad, I will be Bruce Lee. And I love my name so much. I mean, when compared to Bruce Lee, Javed sounds much better, like far better, infinitely better. So I'm very glad that this man right here scored 6 runs on that day around 25, 26 years ago. All right, fine. Exactly. As I said, if the 6 runs was not hit, you would be attending the class of Bruce Lee, says, right. And yes, now Javed Miandad is a cricket coach, he's a politician. I really don't know much about him. But now, let's not talk about Javed Miandad. Let's talk about Kumar Sangakkara, a man who needs no introduction in the sense everybody knows him. You're a fan of cricket. You're not a fan of cricket. You're a fan of BTS. You're a fan of Korean pop music. You're a fan of wrestling. You're a fan of whatever. You still know Kumar Sangakkara. Okay? The reason is that he is such a prolific, prominent cricketer. He is such a famous individual, not only because he's a cricketer, but he has portrayed himself to be a gentleman, right? I mean, the way he talks, the way he acts, the way he commentates, the way he replies, that's very gentleman-like of him. He's a special person, but we will not be talking about Kumar Sangakkara. We won't talk about his birth date. We will not talk about the scores, the runs he scored. We will not talk about the world records he has in cricket, right? The reason is this is not a lesson about Kumar Sangakkara. This is a lesson about the Lahore attack. But remember, when talking about the Lahore attack, do not write about the history of Kumar Sangakkara. He was this many years old. He lived in what? He was a batsman, a bowler, whatever. Don't write those. We are only focusing on the Lahore attack. We are not writing an essay about Kumar Sangakkara. I hope you are clear. But he is the creator, narrator, protagonist, and the speaker of the Lahore attack. Remember that, okay? He's the creator, the narrator, the protagonist, and the speaker of the Lahore attack. So if you're talking about Kumar Sangakkara, use those words. Say that he's the protagonist. Say that he's the narrator. Say that he's the creator. Say that he's the speaker. Say that he's a writer. Doesn't matter. But don't talk about his history because we don't really want to learn about his history. Okay? Fine. Now, like I was saying, the Lahore attack is a first person narration, okay? A first person narration in the sense he is talking about himself, right? So the narrator is also the protagonist. When the narrator and the protagonist are the same person, it is known as a first person narration. I hope you understood that. Let me repeat that again. When the narrator and the protagonist, what is the word? Protagonist, are the same person, it is known as a first person narration. When the narrator and the protagonist are two different people, it's called a second person narration. My friend, I believe I have uploaded the presentation onto the website. But I will send this, but I think you can download this from the website. I believe you can. Have I not uploaded this onto the website? I think I have. I'll check again, okay? I'll check this again. No, some people say I have not uploaded onto the website. Yes, some people say I have uploaded onto the website. Right. Most of you say I have not. So we'll see. I will check and I will, if I have not uploaded, I will send this to you in the end of the lesson. Not the grade 11 slot. Okay, I have not uploaded this under the grade 11 slot, I think. Okay, I understand. Fine. All right, like I was saying, my friends, remember, the Lahore attack is a first person narration because the narrator and the protagonist are the same person. There are first person pronouns like I, my, myself, mine, me, us, we. Those are all first person pronouns that the narrator uses to talk about himself. Right. So, and by the way, so even though we did not talk about Kumar Sangakkara, I believe his name might ring a bell. Now, the bell you see right here It is found in Lords. Okay, Lords is like the most prominent, most famous the cricket arena in the world. Okay, it's found in England, right? It's like the mecca of cricket. You're right, Abdul. It's like the mecca of cricket, and the bell you see right here has never been rung by non-British people. The people who have rung this bell, they are all British people, and they are all prominent. If you want, you can Google Lord's bell ring on Google. Okay, and you will find hundreds of people. None of them are outside of England. All of them are either English, they're Australian. All of them are white people, people who belong to the Queen, like Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, England, Scotland. So those are the kind of people who have been invited to ring the bell in Lords for 5 minutes. But Kumar Sangakkara is an exception. He is the only non-white person. Okay, he is the only non-white person to ring this bell in Lords. So this bell is like, it's a holy bell. Usually people like us can never even touch this bell, but Kumar Sangakkara has rung this bell. But remember, don't underestimate yourself, right? It's just a bell. Don't underestimate yourself. Don't think like, my God, I can never ring that bell. Doesn't really matter. But whatever said and done, Kumar Sangakkara is a very important person compared to other Sri Lankan cricketers, because he is respected so much internationally, right? Why? But tell me, why is Kumar Sangakkara respected so much? Can someone guess and tell me why? There's a very obvious reason. Now, if you take some cricketers, they will talk like this: I come, I take ball, I throw ball, I get wicket. Yes, humanity, yeah, but there are many humanitarians, right? There are many humanitarians when it comes to cricketers. But why is Kumar Sangakkara respected so much? One person gave me the right answer. Yeah, because of his English, right? Because of his English, obviously. Now, there are people equal to Kumar Sangakkara in Sri Lanka. Now, for example, Mahela Jayawardena and Kumar Sangakkara are equals. At one point, Mahela Jayawardena was better than Kumar Sangakkara, but Kumar Sangakkara is the president of the Melbourne Cricket Council. Okay, he's the president of the Melbourne Cricket Council. That's in Australia. Okay, but the other cricketers in Sri Lanka, they are not given the equal opportunity. But now we see very fluent cricketers. But in Kumar Sangakkara's period, when I was a kid, in Kumar Sangakkara's period, no cricketer was fluent in English, right? Now, if you look at Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, they were very bad with their English, right? Like I remember, I won't mention the name of the cricketer. Now his English is very good. Now his English is very good because they have taken time to learn English. Now cricketers, they don't only go to practices, but they also learn English if they are not fluent. I will not mention this cricketer's name. He's got crazy hair. The Sri Lankan bowler has crazy hair. When he used to talk, when I was a kid, he would talk like this: I come, I take ball, I throw ball, I take wicket, I go to dressing room, I wear my shoe. That's how he spoke English. But now his English is very good. Okay, by the way, now his English is very good. But back in the day, his English was bad. So Kumar Sangakkara came in an era where almost all of the Sri Lankan cricketers could not speak English. He was the only person who could speak English in the entire team. So whenever they went on tour, whenever the teams met, now they don't only go to play cricket, right? They have a bond between countries. Now, Sri Lankan cricket team, the Sri Lankan cricket team is a representative. They are the representatives or the delegates, right? The representatives or the delegates of Sri Lanka. They represent Sri Lanka, and the Australian cricket team or England cricket team, they one moment, please. Hey there, my friend. How can I help you? Yes, walaikum salam. It's at about 11 o'clock. If I'm, yeah, 11 o'clock in the morning, my friend. 11 to 4 o'clock, 4 p.m. in the evening. Yes, fine. Thank you for calling, by the way, man. Take care. All the best. I'm doing quite well, my friend. I'm actually in a class now, the usual literature class. Right, no, pleasure talking to you. I'm glad you called, by the way. All the best with your exam, my friend. Take care. Goodbye. Right. Like I said, the Sri Lankan cricketers were delegates, in the sense they are representing Sri Lanka. Like I said, so imagine in those situations, because Kumar Sangakkara is so fluent in English, everyone would be talking with Kumar Sangakkara. All of the English players, Australian players, all of the New Zealanders, the Scotland players, the officials, they will be talking only with Kumar Sangakkara because he is fluent in English. The South Africans, that's right. So do you understand what an advantage it is to learn English, right? Now, even though he's a very talented cricketer, there are many talented cricketers, but there is no other Kumar Sangakkara because he is so good with his English, right? Um, Right. So, like I said, my friend, we can move forward here. So now Kumar Sangakkara is respected around the world. He has been given the honor to ring the bell in Lords, the legendary bell which no one else will be allowed to ring unless you are born in an English-speaking country that is under the Queen. So Sri Lanka is not under the Queen at the moment, but Kumar Sangakkara was allowed to ring this legendary bell. Right. Fine. Let's move forward then. Yes, we have a class. We have classes tomorrow, by the way. We have all of our classes. Even the 28th of March. By the way, the 28th of March is my birthday, and that's a poetry day. Okay, 28th of March is my birthday. That's a poetry day also. But we are having classes. Okay, we will not skip classes on poetry days. Also, we have classes. Don't worry. I mean, not don't worry. You might hate me for this. You might be like, sir, why sir on a poetry day, sir? No, I mean we have to sacrifice a few of our time, a few of our days for the greater good. So we only have class once a week, so it doesn't make sense to give a holiday for a poet day. And even that day is my birthday. I do not want to celebrate my birthday. I want to celebrate my birthday with you, because I believe your education is more important than anything else that I can offer. And treat it's a bit impossible, right? If I could give you, I would give you a treat, but the treat is a bit impossible because all of you live around the country. There are so many of you, but we will see. We will see, my friends. At least for a few of you, we'll see. Right. Whatever said and done, remember, don't make this an essay about Kumar Sangakkara. Don't make the Lahore attack analysis an essay about Kumar Sangakkara. That is a huge mistake that you would make. Okay, that's a huge mistake. The reason is that in this lesson, we are only learning about the Lahore attack. Don't even write a single thing about Kumar Sangakkara. Don't mention that he's the president of the Melbourne Cricket Council. Don't mention that he rang the bell in Lords. Don't mention his high scores. Don't mention his world records. We don't really need to talk about Kumar Sangakkara. We are only talking about the Lahore attack. Yes, tomorrow we are conducting the vendor of sweets class also. After the seminar, we are conducting the vendor of sweets class. In the beginning, the class was supposed to be free, but afterwards, I got a call from the management and they said that we can't have a free seminar because due to a few issues, the other teachers, they are not having free seminars. But I'm having a free seminar next week. I'm having 2 free seminars regarding literature next week, which will be very fun seminars. Yeah, 13th, that's right, 13th, and then the other one will be on the 22nd, I believe. We will definitely update you regarding the free seminars, right? And whatever issues you have regarding the vendor of sweets thing, we will sort out those issues. All right. So here, remember, we are not talking about Kumar Sangakkara. We are talking about the Lahore attack. But before we start reading, okay, before you read, you need to learn these jargons. Jargon, not jargon, not jargon from the vendor of sweets. We should learn, jargon. Okay. Jargon is the hard words or technical words you need to learn in a subject or in a field. In this case, the field that we are talking about is cricket. The jargon that you need to learn, the hard words that you need to learn when you are reading this text is known as jargon. Now, in cricket, now most of you might know about cricket, okay? Like almost 50%. 70% of you might know well about cricket. Sometimes you might not know about cricket. Now, for example, my sister, she's exactly 5 years older than than I am. Okay, she's exactly 5 years older. We were both born on the same day, different years. I might have mentioned this. We were both born on the same day, but different years. So she has no clue about cricket. She doesn't know a single thing about cricket. To this day, even though she's 30 years now, exactly 5 years older than myself, she's 30 now. She does not know a single thing about cricket. Yeah, some of you, boys and girls, might not know about cricket, okay? And yes, cricket is a very complicated sport. Cricket is a very complicated sport. I did not play cricket when I was in school. I played rugby, I played karate. I did not play cricket, only rugby and karate. Karate, I have a brown belt, but I'm not a good fighter. Okay, I'm not really a good fighter, but I have a brown belt in karate. My style is Shoto Kan. The style I fought was Shoto Kan. Those of you who do karate might know what I mean. Fine, fine. The word test, okay? The word test is very prominent in cricket. Now, there are three types, three main types, okay? There are various types of cricket, but there are three main formats of cricket. That is ODI, one day international, that will finish in one day. Remember, one day international will finish in one day. And then we have T20, IPL. I remember when I was a boy, I used to love watching IPL, not because of the cricket, but because when someone hits a six or when someone hits a four, people dance. You know who I'm talking about. Like there are people who dance when someone, um, you know, what's it called? Hits a six or a four. That's why I loved watching cricket when I was a boy. IPL actually, I watched IPL. So T20 is a very short cricket match. It will finish in around 2.5 hours. Maximum 2.5 hours. It will not take more than that. People like watching T20. And then die-hard cricket fans, right? People who are insanely in love with cricket will watch Test cricket. It will take around 3 to 5 days, okay? It will take around 3 to 5 days for the cricket match to be over. Okay, so Test cricket is a very complicated format of cricket. Okay, Test cricket is a very complicated form of cricket. Do you know what color uniform they wear when they play cricket? When they play Test cricket, right? Those of you who are very informed about the sport, they wear white color. So sometimes when you're watching the TV, or sometimes your dad might be watching the TV, but really boring. Okay, now Test cricket is very boring. I'm being very honest. But even if you're a cricket fan, I apologize, but Test cricket is a bit boring, right? So you watch Test cricket, and the ball is red. The ball is always red color, and the uniforms are always white. So it takes a long time to for a Test cricket match to be over. I think nowadays it's very hard for the kids to watch Test cricket because we are used to TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. So in a few minutes, a few seconds sometimes, now in TikTok, in a few seconds, we will get new content. It's not bad, okay? I don't say that social media is bad. In a few seconds, you can learn something new. You can watch something new, only seconds. So for a person who has been used to absorbing information in a few seconds, it's very hard for you to watch like 3 or 4 days, 5 days of cricket, especially when the same person is batting for like 2 days. The same person will be batting for 2 different days. So now you might be thinking, so how can they play for 3 days straight? No, they don't play for 3 days straight. There are intervals, right? They have breaks. They go home to sleep, right? Basically, they continue the match in 3 days. In Sri Lanka, if you look at schools, right? Schools have big matches, right? Schools have various big matches. We play ODI, not ODI actually, one day, not international, one day. We play one day cricket in Sri Lanka. Now, my school, for example, that school, my school, Asoka College, you might not know about it. It's near Ananda College. That's where I studied for the most part. I went to a different school also, but for the most part, I studied at Asoka College. We played OD one day cricket. Okay, we played one day cricket. Fine. The next word, feather bed. Okay, feather bed is a kind of a pitch. Now you might ask me, sir, what's a pitch, sir? Be very careful when you pronounce this word, or people might get offended. Pitch. Okay, be very careful. No, don't mess up this word. So what's a pitch? A pitch is a kind of area, the land in the cricket field where you can pitch the ball, where you can throw the ball, or where you can bowl the ball. Okay, now we have a feather bed. A feather bed is a very soft pitch. Okay, a feather bed is a very soft pitch. Okay, it's very advantageous for the batsman. You can predict the bounce. Now when you pitch the ball or when you throw the ball, the ball would bounce and the batsman can predict the bounce. Okay, that is called a feather bed. Now, I told you these are not important, but it's good if you know these words. The word pitch is the strip of the ground where the ball is hauled, not healed. It should be hauled. The word is wrong here. Thrown or pitched. It's the part of the ground, the strip of the ground where the ball is thrown or pitched. And then we have the first innings, right? Another word, first innings, is the first part of the match. Okay, first innings is known as the first part of the match, or when one team has done batting. Now, you know, in cricket, there are 11 players per team. There are actually more than that, but there are 11 active players um, in a team, right? Featherbed. Can featherbed mean easy? Not easy. Featherbed means the pitch. It's a word used in cricket. It's easy to play cricket on that pitch. Okay. Featherbed means it's easy to play cricket on that pitch, but featherbed doesn't mean easy. Now, we can't use that in normal conversation. Now, for example, my exam paper was a featherbed. That's wrong. It doesn't make sense. Your exam paper was a featherbed. Did you crumple up your exam paper and throw it at someone? So it doesn't mean easy. Featherbed means that it is a kind of a pitch where playing cricket is advantageous for the batsman. Batting on a featherbed is very easy. Okay. Yes. Now, Mohammed Shumay said, can we use it for hyperbole? Can we say that my exam paper was a featherbed? Yeah, we can use it for metaphors, but usually we don't. Usually we don't use it for a metaphor. It's usually um, used with cricket. All right. The first innings is when the first group of batsmen or the group of batsmen for the first team are done batting, when all of them have either gotten out or they have run out of balls, when they have run out of the times they can bat. That's the first innings. And then we have the second innings. That is the second part of the game. Not that hard, okay? The second innings is the second part of the game. So here, out. Out is where a batsman cannot bat anymore. There's a word called out. In cricket, we say out. How's that? Out. You would have heard of it. How is that? Or how's that? How is that? And then the umpire says out. That means the batsman cannot bat anymore. Out means the batsman cannot bat anymore. Run. This doesn't mean someone is running. Run means the points you take in cricket, the points that are awarded to you in cricket are known as runs. Okay. Run out is when a batsman who attempts to score a run loses his wicket, right? It's known as out. So yes, exactly. Score. Run is known as score. That's right. A run is known as a score or a point in cricket. Run out is when a batsman trying to get a point gets out or loses his wicket, right? So these are not that hard. You will learn them better when you go through the presentation again. Although the Lahore attack is considered to be a prose, okay? It falls under the prose in our syllabus. As per the appreciation syllabus, its origins are far from a traditional short story, okay? The origins are far from a traditional. But one moment, there's a request here. I did not see a boy is asking me for a, yes. Right, fine. Yeah, so like I said, this falls under a prose, but even though this is not a short story. Now, by the way, the Lahore attack is not a short story. It is a lecture. In the sense, Kumar Sangakkara was the person who delivered the lecture. Now, for example, what we are having now, the session that I am conducting now is something like a lecture, right? I am talking to you and you are listening. So this is exactly what happened in the Colin Cowdrey lecture, the Lahore attack. But this lecture has been noted down, has been written down, and is given to us as a prose. Even though this is not really a prose, even though this is not really a short story, we consider this to be a short story. I hope you understood that. Even though the Lahore attack is a lecture, it is not a short story, but in our syllabus, we consider it to be a short story, right? So remember, it is noted as an extract from the Colin Cowdrey lecture, The Lahore Attack. So now if you can, in the examination, if you can mention the entire thing here. An extract from the Colin Cowdrey lecture, The Lahore Attack. An extract, that means a small part. An extract from the Colin Cowdrey lecture, The Lahore Attack. If you can mention that in the examination, that will be very advantageous. By the way, the Colin Cowdrey lecture is over an hour long. It's very long. You don't have to watch the entire lecture. If you have time, some of you might want to go and watch the lecture, but don't. It's very long and it's unnecessary. We only want the part where the Lahore attack was discussed. Okay, we only need the part where Kumar Sangakkara discusses about the Lahore attack. We essentially don't need to learn about anything else regarding the lecture. I hope I'm clear here. Right. So here, the lecture consists of one, the spirit of cricket. Now, the word spirit, it means when a sportsman, when a cricketer plays cricket, they can't play cricket like they play rugby, right? Now, imagine cricketers hitting each other with the bats, throwing the ball at each other, spitting at each other. Imagine Kumar Sangakkara, after batting, goes towards the ball and spits in the bowler's face. That is not the spirit of the cricket, okay, not of cricket. Cricketers should be gentlemen, okay? As per the rules of cricket, the code of ethics of cricket, cricketers should be gentlemen. Now, there is a method that you should deal when you act as a gentleman. Apart from that, you can't pretend to be a gentleman, right? Apart from that, my friend, you cannot pretend to be a gentleman. Right. One moment. Only now am I getting these messages, my friends. Because some of them have not gotten the link. Right. Fine. Like I was saying, in this scenario, the spirit of cricket is talked about. That means those of them who are crickets, people who are cricketers, not crickets, who are cricketers, they are a bit more advanced than ordinary people, right? They have the sportsmanship, they respect each other, they are unafraid, okay? So that means if you are a cricketer, you are not supposed to be an ordinary person. You are supposed to be a gentleman, and that is exactly what is talked about. Right. Apart from that, yes, the word empathy. I'll talk about the word empathy, don't worry. Then Sangakkara's experience as a cricketer is talked about in this prose, right? The experience Sangakkara has as a cricketer is talked about in this prose. Patriotism. Patriotism in the sense when someone feels proud about their country. That's known as patriotism. Patriotism is talked about in this lesson, okay, in this text. Patriotism in the sense when someone feels proud about their country, he feels proud to be a Sri Lankan, that is talked about. Exactly, Mohammed. Patriotism means exactly when someone feels proud regarding his country. And a beautiful wording from who was that? Yeah, Nuha Fayaz, maintaining the dignity of sports. That's right. So the spirit of cricket is when you maintain your dignity. Dignity is also a very important thing, especially when you're a cricketer. So you are not like boxers, they don't have dignity, right? They spit at each other's face. Now, for example, you might know Conor McGregor. They trash talk. Mike Tyson, you might know boxers. They don't have sportsmanship, right? They are very violent. Not all of the boxers, but prominently boxers and UFC fighters, MMA fighters, mixed martial art fighters, ultimate fight champion, UFC fighters. They are very rude. They're very aggressive. They trash talk. They use profanity. What's profanity? What do you mean by profanity? Exactly, bad words. They use bad words. Profanity, well done. Swear words, exactly. A lot of you know the meaning of that. If you don't know, remember, we don't say bad words in English, we say profanity. So they use profanity, but in Sri Lanka, not Sri Lanka actually, in cricket, they don't use profanity. So they maintain their dignity. They safeguard their dignity. Sympathy. Sympathy is when you feel sorry for someone, when you see someone who is in danger, who is in trouble, and you feel sorry for them. Sympathy. Now, for example, imagine that you see a hungry kitten on the road, right? And imagine you're Now you are walking to school, you are at home, you see a hungry kitten, you feel sympathy towards that kitten, right? A baby kitten, you feel sympathy towards that kitten. Empathy is almost like sympathy, okay? Empathy is almost like sympathy, but we put ourselves in the place of the victim. Now imagine we feel sorry, but we feel like the problem has happened to us. Empathy. Now, for example, the kitten that is hungry, you look at it, you feel sympathy and you feel empathy. You feel like you are also hungry. You feel like the kitten. You feel like the problems are faced by you also. That is known as empathy. Exactly. Understanding the emotions of someone else and feeling as if that person's problem is faced by you. That is empathy. So, but remember, sympathy and empathy are both almost the same. They are not 100% the same, but they are both almost the same. So, you can use them together, sympathy and empathy, because they give out the same meanings. But remember, sympathy is when you feel sorry for someone. There's a baby kitten, I feel sorry for that kitten. Empathy is like you feel like that problem happens to you. You feel empathetic. You feel empathy. Right. Optimism means even though there's a bad situation, even though there is a problem, you face that problem and you think about the good things. Even though there is a bad side, you only focus on the good things. That is known as optimism, right? There are so much bad things, but you focus on the good things. That is known as optimism. I hope you understood that. Yeah, confidence about the future, right? That is also optimistic. But most importantly, you see the good things in everything. You don't see the bad side, you see the good side. In the Lahore attack, Kumar Sangakkara is talking about the spirit of cricket. He talks about his experience. He talks about patriotism, sympathy, empathy, and optimism. If you can memorize all of these words, how long will it take you to memorize these words? 10 minutes, maximum 15 minutes. Okay, maximum it might take you about 15 minutes, but you will thank me in the examination if you write these words regarding the Lahore attack in the examination. You will get instant marks, okay, because these are very important. This is all you can learn in the Lahore attack. There is no rocket science inside of this. Okay, we are not learning rocket science. We are not learning something from another universe. Simple stuff. What is it? In the Lahore attack, Kumar Sangakkara talks about the spirit of cricket, his experience as a cricketer, patriotism, sympathy, empathy, and optimism. Okay, remember the meaning of these words. Sympathy means you feel sorry for someone. Empathy means you put yourself in the place of the victim. You try to understand their emotions. You feel their emotion. That is called empathy. And optimism, when you face something negative, you look at the good side, right? Optimist in the sense, look at the good side of a bad situation. Best example, what? Even though the pandemic, right? Through the pandemic, you were not able to go to school. You were not able to get out of your house. You missed out on some of your classes. There was a positive side, right? We can be optimistic about the pandemic. The pandemic is the reason that online classes are prominent in Sri Lanka. That is why now those of you who have done online class, who have joined online classes prominently, you understand that the classes are a lot more better than physical classes, because in online classes you can save time, you can save resources, you have the comfort of your home, you are safe, right? So there are so many things that you can get out of online classes. Even though there are a bit of a downside, we can be optimistic. That is the best example we can give regarding optimistic, right? Being optimistic, or optimism, right? By the way, now there are tones and attitudes that we have to talk about. Okay, tones and attitudes, or attitudes, that we will be talking about. Now these mean the exact same thing. Okay, tone and attitude are almost the same thing as per our syllabus. What is the tone of the speaker? What is the attitude of the speaker? What do they feel, or what did they feel when they what did they feel when they were writing or when they were narrating the story. Now, for example, you remember we had done Sonali Dharaniyagala's Wave, right? An extract. The wave, the life after the tsunami, right? In that, was Sonali Dharaniyagala happy? Did she have a optimistic note? Did her tone have happiness? Ha ha ha! My children died. Ha ha ha! My parents died. I'm very happy. Oh, oh, oh. Steve died in front of my eyes. No, right? She's sad. Well done, well done. Melancholy. We talked about the word melancholy. Melancholy is what you how you spell it. Melancholy. If you don't have the tute, make sure you send me a message. Those of you who have the tute, make sure you memorize them. Do you see how advantageous these tutes are? You can fuel your memory with the essential wordings you need in order to score marks in your analysis. The tone of the Wave by Sonali Dharaniyagala, or Wave by Sonali Dharaniyagala, is melancholy. And yes, I will give you my numbers. Yes, and I will send the presentation, this presentation through Zoom. Yes, I will send all of the necessary presentation through Zoom, because one pupil wanted the Eagle presentation, another pupil wanted this presentation, and Wave also a few pupils wanted. I will send you all three of those presentations in the end of this session. All right. So there is a sympathetic tone. Now remember, sympathy is talked about. The tone is sympathetic. Empathy is talked about. The tone is empathetic. Patriotism is talked about, but the tone is patriotic. Remember, patriotism is talked about. The tone is patriotic. These are all, what is the word class of these words? Pupils who attend my English language class, tell me, what is the word class of these words? Are these verbs, adjectives, nouns, adverbs? What do you think? You can write all of these tones. Well done, well done. A lot of you got it. Adjectives, these are all adjectives. In the previous slide, we had nouns, right? So there was sympathy, noun. The tone is sympathetic. There was empathy. The tone is empathetic. There was patriotism. The tone is patriotic, a patriotic tone. There was optimism. The tone is optimistic. So please memorize these wordings, okay? Right. Now the mood, okay? Now with the tone, there is something called a mood also, right? With the tone, let me change the color. There is something called mood, okay? Mood is what the reader feels. Most of the time, don't worry, most of the time, no, the tone and mood are different, okay? Rumana, my friend, the tone and mood are quite different, but remember, most of the time they are talking about the same thing. The tone is the writer's mindset, the writer's emotion. The mood is the reader's emotion. Do you understand? Tone is the writer's emotion when they felt when they were writing the story. Mood is the emotion that the reader felt when they were reading the story. Most of the time, the tone and mood talks about the same thing. You read a sad story, right? You feel happy. Do you feel happy when you read a sad story? The victim was murdered. Her brain was scattered into pieces on the pavement. Her head hung tall, high on a tree. Will you be happy? Ha 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 ha. She was murdered. Ha 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 ha. Her brain was scattered on the pavement. Ha ha. Will you be happy? No, right? You will also be sad. So even though the tone and the mood are two different things, even though the tone talks about the emotion of the writer, the mood talks about the emotion of the reader. Ultimately, they talk about the same thing. You read a melancholy story, you feel sad, you feel sympathetic, you feel empathy, right? When you read a patriotic story, now, for example, in the Lahore attack, there's a part where Kumar Sangakkara says, "We are Sri Lankan." There's a amazing, electrifying part. He says that he's proud to be a Sri Lankan. He said that not only himself, but all Sri Lankans are very honest and very brave people. not on, he didn't use the word honest, but he said that all Sri Lankans are valuable people. That makes you feel patriotic, right? That makes you feel patriotic, exactly. So that is the mood. Most of the time the mood and the tone talks about the same thing, but are they the same thing? No, they are different. The mood talks about the reader's emotion when they read. The tone or the attitude talks about the writer's emotion when they write. I hope you understood that. Okay. Please raise your hands up if you understood that. Right. A lot of you understood. Okay, a lot of you have got this. Right. Fatima, do you have a question, my friend? You have mentioned you want to remind me something. Okay. Okay. I believe some of you have lost power also. Cool, cool. If any problem, if there's any problem during the classroom, I will be happy to send you the recordings. These days, I have been insanely busy as always because of the seminars and the other conflicts that I'm facing. But nevertheless, I will take time, and I have sent the majority of you tunes, and the majority of you, I have corrected your homework. Sometimes I might have missed a few of your homework and few of your requests. Um, right. Few of your requests, and we will definitely proceed with the session. All right, cool. Like I said, my friend, in this particular scenario, make sure you memorize these wordings. Okay, you should memorize these wordings. The reason is you need them when you write the analysis. I hope I'm clear. So take around 15 minutes and memorize these words. Memorize the spelling, memorize the pronunciation, memorize the nouns and the adjectives, which will help you answer a very prominent question in your O-level examination, in your analysis rather. In your analysis, you can use these wordings, which will be very advantageous to you. Yeah, furthermore, patriotism is a very important word, right? Remember, when we talk about the Lahore attack, patriotism is very important. Patriotism is prominent, is essential if you want to write an analysis about the Lahore attack. Remember, devotion, vigorous support for one's country. Devotion and vigorous support for one's country is known as patriotism. Sri Lankans are very patriotic, right? As per my understanding, Sri Lankans love their country. I love Sri Lanka. Now, my sister, she lives in the US, but I do not want to leave Sri Lanka because I believe this is the best country you can live in, right? The opportunities, the people, the economy, all of the attributes, even though they are not perfect, even though this is not the perfect, most perfect country in the world, I still love being Sri Lankan. And you should also be a patriot. You should be a nationalist. You should be a patriot. You should love your country. Now, let me give you a very good example. If you respect your parents, only will other people respect your parents. Now, for example, I have seen pupils doing this. I don't know. Sometimes, I hope you have not done this, but pupils are sometimes rude to their parents. Now, we have parents' meetings in school. Some pupils, they argue with their parents. They're rough with their parents. Most of the pupils, not some, most of them. The father or the mother is very humble, but the pupil is very adamant, arrogant. So I mean, if you respect your parents, only will other people respect your parents. If you respect yourself, only can you expect other people to respect you, right? If you respect your school, only will other people respect your school. If you don't respect your school, if you are not patriotic about your school, other people will not respect your school. If you don't respect your country, how can you expect other people from different countries to respect your country? So it all starts within. First of all, respect yourself. Tell yourself that you are valuable. Tell yourself that you deserve respect. Don't look at yourself as a disgrace. Don't look at yourself as an excuse, right? Always respect yourself, even though you might not be successful now. In the future, if you try hard enough, if you relentlessly work, if you never give up, you will be successful. Let's do something just to know, get an idea. Can you raise your hands up if you feel depressed, if you feel sad, if you feel like a failure? You can be honest, okay? Can you raise your hands up? Because in some of my classes, I have seen pupils raising their hands up. Um, don't think of the others. If you are so, right, few of you, yes. Few of you, a majority of you, I believe, even though you don't admit it, in this particular age, a lot of pupils who speak to me right now, people who are 16, 15, they talk to me and they tell me, and because I'm very friendly, right? I'm very warm, I'm very friendly. So people are not afraid to speak to me. And they mostly convey that they are depressed, they feel like they're failures, they feel like they are missing out, they feel like they are unsuccessful. um, my question was, if you feel depressed, if you feel like you are unsuccessful, if you feel like, and you can put your hands down, by the way. Most of us, right, most of us feel that way. It all begins with self-respect, self-value. You must value yourself, you must respect yourself. If you respect yourself only, can you expect other people to respect you, value you and love you for who you are? Because as humans, we need respect, we need love, we need affection, we need validation. Our friends should accept us in their circle, our friends should value us. That is a key factor of being a human. So you must respect yourself first before you expect other people to respect you. Same thing will happen with your family. You must respect your family, your parents first, only then can you expect other people to respect your parents. Equally, the same thing is prominent with your school, and the exact same thing is prominent with your country. If you respect your country only, can you expect other people to respect your country. Be patriotic. Patriotism is a good thing. In the Lahore attack, patriotism is emphasized heavily. All right. So here, the story is laced with the essence of the Sri Lankan civil war. Laced means you can find a trace. Laced means you can find a small part laced with the essence of the Sri Lankan civil war. Now, I don't want to talk about the Sri Lankan civil war because there are people from many religions, many races, many cultures. So when we talk about something so drastic, something so, prominent, it might hurt a few of us. So I will not talk about the Sri Lankan civil war. I will not talk about who's right, who's wrong. But Kumar Sangakkara talks about the Sri Lankan civil war. There was a point in Sri Lanka where bomb blasts were prominent, right? Bomb blasts were prominent throughout Sri Lanka. By the way, vigorous. Vigorous means a lot, intense, intense. I forgot to answer that question. Vigorous means intense. An intense support for one's country, very strong, a strong support, an intense support for one's country, vigorous. Right. Apart from that, we talked about laced. Laced means you can find a small trace of the Sri Lankan civil war. So there were occasional bomb blasts in Sri Lanka. Apart from that, outside of Colombo, in the north, there was a prolonged war, right? There was a prominent war in the north of Sri Lanka, and people were affected. People lost their houses, people lost their lives, people lost their families, people lost family members due to the war. So this is also talked about in the Lahore attack, right? But I believe now, I mean, in the analysis, you can mention that, but I believe at the moment, we don't have to talk about war, because whatever said and done, the war is over. And the people who were involved with the war, they are long gone, or they are quite old. So we can look past, we can look further. We cannot live in the past. So even though the war is mentioned, the war is not the main thing here. Okay, even though the war is mentioned in the Lahore attack, the 30-year-long civil war that we had in Sri Lanka between a few races, we will not talk about the war, because we don't need to mention a heavy discussion about the war in this presentation, because it's about the Lahore attack, not about the Sri Lankan civil war. So I will on purposely leave that part out, because I don't really want to offend anyone. Whatever said and done, there are people here in this meeting, and all of us, we have various emotions due to the war. We have various ideas, various emotional, impact. various emotional impacts because of the war. So we will not talk about detailedly about the civil war, but remember there is a trace of the civil war mentioned in the Lahore attack. Bombings in buses are mentioned. Apart from that, the civilians who lived in the north, who were amidst the war was happening around them, or the war was happening in their circle. Yes, but now, in this case, Sangakkara confirms the violence took place in Sri Lanka, right? In the sense, the war that happened in Sri Lanka, but states that he was fortunate to be shielded from the violence of the war, even though there is a mention of violence, even though there is a mentioning of war. Sangakkara is fortunate. Sangakkara says that he was fortunate to be shielded from the violence. What does that mean? Is Sangakkara patriotic? Is Sangakkara sympathetic, empathetic, or optimistic? What do you think? What happens here? Even though there was a war, Sangakkara was fortunate to be shielded from that war. Was he patriotic? Was he empathetic? Was he sympathetic?
Optimism.
Or was he optimistic?
Optimistic.
You're right, my friend. Yes, he is optimistic. All of you, you, Nuha, and Hikma, Mihini, Mohammed, Safa, all of you are Hafsa, all of you are correct. Optimistic. Here Kumar Sangakkara is optimistic because there was a war. People were dying. There were bombs. There were shells. There were grenades. There was a conflict. But Kumar Sangakkara was fortunate because he was shielded from that conflict. Kumar Sangakkara is a very optimistic person. And remember, if you want to be successful like Kumar Sangakkara, you should be a very good cricketer. But not cricket, I mean in life. If you want to be successful, one, you should be very fluent, especially in English. Okay, synonym for optimistic, right? Um, Clear-minded, not really. Looking at the good side, there is no synonym at the moment in my head, but you only look at the good side. You don't look at the bad side, right? You are positive. Positive is another word for optimistic. Okay, positive, being positive. Your friends might tell you, Machang, be positive. Hopefulness, well done, Fatima. Hopefulness is a Hafsa, well done. That is another word for being optimistic, hopeful. Let me tell you a beautiful story about Kumar Sangakkara. Now, Sangakkara, when he was 20, right, when he was my age, 25, right, he was not a very prolific, he was not a famous cricketer when he was 20, 21, 22. The reason is he was not a good cricketer. He was not famous in his club. Now, he played for the SSC, I think. SSC was his club, or I don't remember properly. So what happened was, in the locker room, there's an interview about Kumar Sangakkara. In the locker room, they were having a discussion because they played cricket for fun. They did not play cricket as a job. They played cricket for fun. Kumar Sangakkara was the worst. Out of all of the players, Kumar Sangakkara was the worst. And then everyone asked each other, Machang, what are you going to do after a few years? Will you be playing cricket or will you be doing something else? Some people said that they were going to play cricket. Other people said that they played cricket for fun and they were going to do something else. Kumar Sangakkara says, I think I'm going to play for the Sri Lankan cricket team. And everybody laughed. Okay. This is when he was 23, 24 years. Kumar Sangakkara says, I think I would play for the Sri Lankan cricket team. I want to play nationals. Everybody laughed at him. Very famous cricketers. There were a handful of famous cricketers. All of them laughed at him. Because he was a very bad cricketer. He was very horrible. He was not horrible, he was average. He was not good, but not bad also. But Kumar Sangakkara, if someone laughs at you, okay, that would break your heart, right? That would break your spirit. A different person might have given up. When so many famous people laugh at you, you might have given up. I mean, not you. When so many people laugh at a person, that person might give up. Kumar Sangakkara did not give up. He was optimistic. He thought, okay, at the moment, I am not a horrible cricketer, but I am average. If I work hard, if I read books, if I study the technical side of cricket, I can become a respected cricketer. And in the end, he is the most respected cricketer in Sri Lanka. So he was not successful from the beginning. He was not Kumar Sangakkara from the beginning. He had to get to a level to make Kumar Sangakkara a household name. He was optimistic. If he was not optimistic, if he was not hopeful, if he was not cheerful, if he was not positive, if he did not have determination, he could have not become the Kumar Sangakkara we know him today. Like I said, being optimistic is very important if you want to be successful. Imagine, I know a few people, they might have everything, okay? They might have every single thing in the world, but they are still pessimistic. They're still sad, even though they have a lot. If they don't have one single thing, they would be sad. Now, for example, I know a few pupils in my school, right? Some pupils will be a bit sad because their father owns an Alto. You know Alto, right? Alto is a kind of a car, a very small car. Okay, there are now at the school that I teach in, Amal International, most of the pupils are very rich. Most of the kids are very rich. Their parents are businessmen. They are high-ranking officers. Most of the pupils, right? So like they have like cars and stuff. And then I have seen a few pupils being sad because one, their dad doesn't have an Alto. Sorry, their dad doesn't have a Benz. Their dad only has an Alto. I don't even have a car. I still don't own a car. And for me, I have a motorcycle and I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky because I have a motorcycle and I'm very lucky. I have the hands and legs to ride the motorcycle. Imagine people without hands and legs, without limbs, how hard must it be for them to live? I'm optimistic. However, I have seen many people who almost have everything. If they don't have one thing in their life, that leads to depression. Um, so I believe if you are optimistic, you will be a much more successful person. That's a personal advice I give you. Even though it might take you some time. Thank you so much, Fatima. Even though it might take you some time, in the future, definitely you can achieve whatever dream you have, even though it might be a crazy dream. Sometimes you might want to go to the moon. Who knows? It might be a crazy dream, but if you are optimistic, you can definitely achieve that dream. Right. So remember, he's an optimistic person. Yeah, if you want to go to Mars, who knows, right? Who knows? Now, Elon Musk is the world's, now he's not the world's richest man actually. He's the second richest now, richest man. So if you want to go to Mars, who knows? It can happen. Or at least you can, even if you have so much high dreams, you could be. If you want to go to Mars, at least you could go to the moon, something like that. Okay, even though you might not achieve all of your dreams, you still will be a very successful person. All right, right. So then let's clear this part here. Let's move forward. Right. Now there is an extract. Remember, if you can memorize these extracts, this will help you a lot to write your analysis. Memorize, there are only like 30, 25 words on the screen here. If you can memorize these 25 words, you will, it will be very helpful for you to write a successful analysis. I was fortunate that during my life, I had never experienced violence in Sri Lanka firsthand. There have been so many bomb explosions over the years, but I was never in the wrong place at the wrong time. Make sure you memorize this, right? This shows that Kumar Sangakkara is optimistic. And apart from that, he says that he's fortunate. I was fortunate during my life. I was fortunate that during my life, one moment, right? I was never at the wrong place at the wrong time. Okay, I was never at the wrong place at the wrong time. He's optimistic. Make sure you memorize this part. This also talks about the violence in Sri Lanka. So obviously there is a violent background, but Kumar Sangakkara is shielding himself from the violence. Right. So apart from that, there were many bomb blasts in Sri Lanka. So the wording, occasional bombs, right? Now, do you see the wording here? In this part, occasional bombs are not mentioned, but the wording, occasional bombs, undercuts the sting and agony of war. Okay? What do you mean by occasional? Yes, you should memorize the quotations. You should memorize all of this. It will not take you more than half an hour to memorize this. You memorize this once, repeat this at least once a week. You will never forget this quotation until the day you die. There are some quotations that I memorized when I was your age. I still remember them. Okay, I memorized some quotations when I was your age, Sinhala literature and English literature. I still remember them. So hopefully you also can do the same. So he says occasional bombs. That means a lot. There are so many bombs. It's a normal thing. Occasional bombs, a normal thing. Occasional bombs, right? So this undercuts the sting and agony of war. Agony, pain, pain of war. This wording right here, occasional bombs, undercuts the sting or the agony of war. Remember that part, okay? Yeah, exactly. Time to time. That's right. Time to time, occasional. A normal thing. Occasionally, we get rain in Sri Lanka. It rains occasionally in Sri Lanka. We have a cricket match occasionally. Me and my friends, we play cricket occasionally. A normal thing, occasionally. So, equally, the bomb blast in Sri Lanka is also seen like a normal thing. Kumar Sangakkara is not like, my God, I was dead scared. I was very scared. I was afraid to step out of my house. No, there were occasional bomb blasts, but I played my cricket. One moment, please. Yes, how can I help you, my friend? Hello? I can't hear you, my friend. Can you? Yes. Yes, my friend. How can I help you? Understood, understood. The tunes will be ready. The tunes that you mentioned in your message, right? I'll ready the tunes for you, my friend. That's all right. Your brother will be here at 8 a.m. I'm sorry. I live in front of the yeah. You have never been here before, right? It's in front of the Mangalapai reception hall. I'll send you the location through WhatsApp. I'm in a class now. I will send you the location after the class is over. You can find it. It's on the road itself. Right then. Sure. Then thank you for calling. Take care. All the best. Goodbye. Yeah, and by the way, you can get your tutes also. You can get the printouts of your tutes if you come to Colombo. From next month onwards, I'll be sending the tutes, couriering the tutes actually to your homes. Because at the moment, in these few months, I've been very busy. But after April, I'll be free, so I can work on sending you the tutes. And obviously, the tutes will be sent for free. But for some reason, if you are in Colombo, you can always collect the tutes and all of them. Okay, like there's around 50, I think. Majority of the tubes will be given to you. The majority of the tubes will be given to you. Yes, you can come and collect the tubes. If you live in Colombo, you can definitely collect them. Or I will be sending them to you through courier from next month onwards. All right. So remember, Kumar Sangakkara undercuts. Yeah, if you are coming to Colombo, if you are in Kandy, we will be couriering the tubes. But most probably, if you come to Colombo, please give me a call and collect the tubes that you want. Right. So, like I was saying, yes, I will be couriering outside Colombo also. It might take some time. It might take some time. I have not yet figured it out. It might take some time. And I live in Kolonnava, in front of Mangalapaya Reception Hall. So it's very easy. Those of you who have come to my home, you know my home is right on the road. So it's not hard to find my home. And it's a very prominent location. You can easily find the location. If you are, for some reason, here, or if you live in Colombo, you can always come and collect the tutes. Exactly. I will be posting or couriering the tutes in the future. So we'll see. Right. So here, the wording, occasional bombings undercuts the sting and agony of war. Agony is the pain of war. So agonizing, agony, pain of war. So Kumar Sangakkara is very cool here. He says there are occasional bombings, right? He's not like, very intense, angry. There were occasional bombings. No, there were occasional bombings. There were occasional bombings. That's it. Being physically detached from the war is deemed to be a luxury. He feels optimistic. He thinks that because he is physically detached from the war, that he is away from the war. Yes, I will be sending the presentations as tutes also. Usually the presentations will also be sent as tutes. No issue at all. So he thinks it's a luxury, it's a blessing to be away from the war. Yeah, sting. Sting is also pain. Sting is also another word for pain. The sting and the agony are, again, they are almost the same. So they are both pain. And yes, you are right. There's a connotation here. When you say sting, when you say pain, and when you say agony, there is a higher pain, a bigger pain involved. Sting is like a small pain, agony is a bigger pain. That's called connotation. Well done, Fatima. All right, fine. Let's move forward then. So Sangakkara creates sympathy. Okay, Sangakkara creates sympathy, but not for himself. Okay, Sangakkara doesn't create sympathy for himself. He creates sympathy for this group of people, for these two groups of people. He creates sympathy. Soldiers, the ones who defend their motherland, and civilians, those who were trying to survive the geographical circumstances. Yes, now, by the way, connotation, okay, spelled exactly how it's pronounced. Connotation is the emotion you get when you read a word. Now, for example, how about this? When you eat, you consume. You eat food, I eat food. I consume food, I ingest food. All three give out the same meaning. But when you say eat, there is no connotation. There is not a heavy connotation. You eat food, you consume food. That is a bigger connotation. There's a bigger emotion. When you close a door or you shut a door, when you close, there is a very small connotation, a small emotional feeling. When you shut the door, there is a bigger connotations, right? Um, who is affected more from the war? Both of these people, my friend, both of these people. Soldiers are also affected, civilians are also affected. Why? Those who were trying to survive the geographical circumstances, the people who lived among the war. So two types of people are talked about, and Sangakkara creates sympathy to regarding both of these people. Sangakkara creates sympathy regarding both of these people. For them, avoiding bullets, shells, mines, and grenades was imperative, very important, essential to live. Imperative, very important for them. Avoiding bullets, shells, mines, and grenades was imperative for survival. This was an experience that I could not relate to. I had great sympathy and compassion for them, but had no real experience with which I could draw parallels. What does he mean here? Up to this part, I think you understand, okay? For them, avoiding bullets, them, soldiers and civilians, okay? Soldiers and civilians. For them, avoiding bullets, shells, mines, and grenades was imperative for survival. This was an experience that I could not relate to. I had great sympathy and compassion for them, but had no real experience which I could draw parallel. So he had great sympathy, compassion. Both of these mean the same thing, okay? Compassion, sympathy, both of them almost mean the same thing. Imperative means very important. Imperative, really important. There are many meanings, by the way. Now, for example, imperative can be order. An imperative can also mean an order, but here imperative means very important, essential. You can't, there is no other escape. Imperative. The lecture took place in 2011, I believe, Hafsa. But that's not important. The lecture took place at 2011, if I'm not mistaken. The attack took place in 2009, but it's not important. You don't have to mention the year of the creation. The only thing we need to do is we have to talk about the story, right? And Hajara Fauzan, don't draw on the screen, my friend. Okay. Like I said, I had great sympathy and compassion for them, but had no real experience with which I could draw parallels. He did not have real experience. Kumar Sangakkara did not have a real experience being exposed to the war. So he has never been shot at. He has never witnessed bullets, shells, mines, grenades. He has never had an experience regarding war where he could draw parallels. Parallels means he could feel the emotion, he could draw parallel, he could be empathetic. Okay, so there was no experience, but even then he felt sympathy and compassion. Drawing a parallel is being empathetic. Okay. Yes, by the way, grenade is another word for a bomb. Now, there's a type of a bomb, okay? If you have to squeeze that bomb like this, you have to squeeze that bomb like this. The reason I know this is because I played games, I play video games. Like very long ago, I used to be a crazy gamer. Hands up if you play video games. If you play phone games, video games, PUBG, what else? COD, GTA Vice City, Assassin's Creed. A lot of you, okay, a lot of you. Even I used to play a lot, and now I don't have time. Now I really don't have time. Now I only use the computer for Photoshop and classes. But you back in the day, around 5 years ago, I was a crazy gamer. So I knew, yeah, COD exactly. COD Modern Warfare was my favorite game. IGI, I played that when I was very small. I played IGI when I was in grade one, I think. When I was in grade one, I played IGI. Those of you must have, those of you who have not played IGI, it's a very old game. I am going in a very old game, something like COD, but less advanced. I was damn afraid. Now, Mohammed, in IGI, there are people who wear red color caps, right? Red caps. They're like commandos. I was damn afraid of those people. Really afraid. Whenever they came on screen, I would be so afraid that I think that the keyboard would be somewhere else, the mouse would be somewhere else. And yes, I play chess also. But even now I play chess. I'm on chess.com. I like my rating is like one. My rating is like 1,400. Not much. The rating is 1,400. Not like a champion rating. Average rating. Cool. Great. Fine. So, like I was saying, a grenade is a kind of a bomb. Okay, you have to squeeze that bomb. When you squeeze it, there's a pin on top of it. You have to pull that pin. Once you pull the pin, the grenade becomes live. The second you let go, it will explode. It will not only explode with fire. It has shrapnel inside of it. Shrapnel. We learn the word in the text. Shrapnel. Shrapnel is small pieces of metal. Shrapnel is small pieces of metal that will fly around all over when a explosion takes place. Now imagine. Yeah, exactly. It's a game that was released before 20 years. You're right, Hikma. IGI. Like I said, now imagine there's an explosion, okay? With the explosion, there will be small pieces of metal that will fly around with it. The metal is deadly. When the metal hits your eye, your heads, your head, your internal organs, you will lose a lot of blood, or sometimes you will lose your life. So that is a grenade. So in a grenade, you find shrapnel. There are metal balls inside the grenade. The moment you pull the grenade, you let it go, the metal balls will fly around like shrapnels, and it will kill whoever the people are standing next to it. Shrapnel, that is a grenade. A mine is a kind of a bomb that when you step on, now you can't see mines are buried underground, but the moment you step on it, it activates the mine. You can't take your leg off, you can't lift your leg off. The moment you lift your leg off, it creates an explosion. Mines, land mines. Okay. The others, I think you know, bullets and shells. Shells are empty bullets. A shell is an empty bullet. Okay. So then Kumar Sangakkara was safe from the war. He was not exposed to an environment infested by war. However, he felt sympathy, and he felt he could draw parallels. Another word, what is it? Drawing a parallel, feeling that person's emotion. What is it called? Not sympathy, it's called feeling someone's emotion is called. Well done, Mohammed. Well done, my friend. Empathy. That's right. Feeling someone's emotion is called empathy. If you can talk about these things in your examination, gold. Your analysis will be no less than gold. Right. Yeah, and by the way, those of you who are gamers, what do you think the specifications of this computer is? What do you think the specification of my computer is? So very recently, I upgraded the computer. Like how many? Yeah, it's an i5 actually. It's an i5, not i7. It's an i5. I've got 24 gigs of RAM, 24 gigabytes of RAM. I'm buying a VGA very soon. It's not laptop actually. It's not a laptop. Really wanted to show you guys this. So this is the machine here. So it's not a laptop. It's a work desktop computer. So you might see it's huge, right? So compared to my hand, it's insanely huge, and it has like all of the necessary components. However, so now some of you might have thought I'm using a laptop, right? I don't have a graphics card yet. I don't have a graphics card. I am purchasing one. Hopefully, before my birthday, I will be purchasing a graphics card. But I will not be using it for games. I will only be using it for video production and obviously graphic designing. For Photoshop, I'll be using this a lot because I use Photoshop when I make the presentations. So like I was a heavy gamer. I was a heavy gamer, but at the moment I'm not. I've stopped playing games altogether. All right. And yes, this is not a laptop. I don't like working on laptops actually. I mean, it's a thing. I mean, laptops are awesome, but I personally don't like working on laptop because you can't upgrade a laptop, right? You cannot upgrade a laptop. Now imagine when the keyboard stops working, I can throw away this keyboard and replace the keyboard with like 1,500 rupees. When I need more RAM, I can buy more RAM and put it inside the computer. I need a graphics card. I can buy a graphics card and put it inside the computer. So that's why I choose to use a desktop rather than laptop. So a laptop is awesome because you can take it with you wherever you want. Now I can't carry this, right? Imagine me carrying this in a bus. Imagine me carrying the computer in a bus. Impossible, right? So but I am someone who wants things to last for a long time, right? Because I have a very sentimental bond with whatever I have with me. Not only with the objects, with the children also, with the class children, yeah, with all of the people and all of the things I have in my life. I'm very sentimental. So that's why I don't like using a laptop. If I would buy a laptop, or if I would have, I already have one, but not a good one actually. If I would use a laptop, if I would buy a laptop, it will be very hard for me to throw it away. Yeah, and yeah, gaming laptops are awesome. But remember, whatever said and done, for the same price, you can buy a much more better computer. Both of them are the exact same price, but you can use it for a long time. But it depends on what kind of a person you are. If you are more of a performance person, you should buy a desktop. Even now, it's an essential, by the way, right? When you turn 20, when you turn 21, when you start working, you should definitely have a very powerful computer. Even let it be a laptop or let it be a desktop. Yeah, so but there are pros and cons, right? Now if you are a performance person, you should definitely go with a computer. But if you are a usability kind of a person, if you are looking at the situation, now for example, you can't use a laptop in a power cut, right? You can't take a laptop out whenever you have a meeting or whenever you have a presentation outside of your home. You can't take a desktop, right? You want laptop, then you can't use the desktop when there's a power cut. So it depends on what kind of a person you are. You can see I'm very passionate about this, by the way. Very passionate about computers and stuff. I'm a geek. I think you might know what that means, right? GEEK, geek. Geek is a person who is a very a person who's interested in something like technology, studies. So I might not seem like it, but I'm actually a geek. All right. Exactly. Tech nerd. That's the right word. A tech nerd. Right. That's a good question. Hikma asks me, am I doing a class in my home or in an institute? Okay. It's like this. I work for the Eduzone website, right? I work for the Eduzone website. I'm a teacher there, by the way. I'm a teacher in Eduzone. However, in this case, I work for my home. So this is what you see is my home. It might not seem like a home actually because I live alone. Long story, a very long story. We'll talk about that in the future. Some of you might know. Those of you who are new might not know my story. But even though this might not seem like a home, this is my home. And I live here entirely alone. And yes, I was teaching before the pandemic, and I'm actually a teacher. I'm a teacher in an international school. Some of you might not know that I'm actually a teacher in an international school. I'm a teacher of the senior section and A-level section in Amal International. Amal International is in Havelocks, right next to Royal Institute. The majority of you might know. Yeah, yes, I do physical classes also. At the moment, we can't do physical classes in Colombo, but I also do physical classes apart from online classes. Yes, but people don't really think I'm a teacher. When people look at me, I don't seem like a teacher. I don't know why. I try my best, but I think it's because of the way I dress, right? It's because of the way I dress. I wear t-shirts because it's a lot more comfortable. But people don't really think I'm a teacher when they see me. But no, I'm a teacher, a qualified teacher who teaches in an international school. Great. Let's go back to the presentation. So here, Sangakkara creates sympathy regarding the soldiers and the civilians. Apart from that, two test matches will be the ultimate test of their patriotism and bravery. So two test matches is when they go to Pakistan to play two test matches are when they are attacked by terrorists, attacked by Pakistani terrorists, and they are shot at. The bus that contained the entire Sri Lankan team was shot at. So that is a an ultimate test of their patriotism and bravery. So they went for a test match. Look at this. Look at the wording here. They went for a test match, but in the end, it was an ultimate test of their patriotism and bravery. The word test here and the word test here have two different meanings. Okay. The team, the Sri Lankan cricket team, went for a cricket match, for a test match, and then they faced their ultimate test, which was a test of their patriotism and bravery. Do they love Sri Lanka and are they brave? We'll talk about that when we start reading this. So you can memorize this part also. Yeah, we will continue. Why did they aim at the Sri Lankan cricket team? Why was the Sri Lankan cricket team a target? No reason, right? Now, most of the terrorists, they don't have proper reasons, right? Now, don't look at religion, don't look at race, right? I'm a Muslim. There are Muslims, there are Tamils, there are Sinhalese people in this class, Catholic people, right? So I believe you should not look at race and religion. It's the mistake with the people, right? Because now coming as a Muslim, now I know that I'm a very general, moderate person. I'm not a racist. I don't think that just because someone is not a Muslim, they are bad people, or just because someone is a Muslim, that person is a good person. Not like that. I look at the person first before I look at the religion, the race. So terrorists, whatever religion, whatever race, whatever country, they don't have a clear motive. Their motive is destruction, right? They want to create chaos, they want to create destruction. That is a motive of a terrorist. You call a terrorist, okay, you if you see a terrorist, which I hope you don't, I hope you never, but if there is a terrorist and you ask him, what is your motive, right? And there is a, by the way, there's a poem that we are going to do regarding this. We'll talk about that in the future, which is not 100% related to the story, which is not 100% related to the story. However, if you ask a terrorist what his motive is, he will not give you a clear answer. He might say religion, he might say race, he might say freedom, but in the end, his answer has no meaning. Now, if he says religion, nowhere in any religion does it say you should kill people for no reason. Do you find in the Quran? Now, I'm using that word because I'm a Muslim, okay? I will not use the other text. I'm using that word only because I'm a Muslim. In the Quran, does it say you should strap a bomb around your chest and go and explode yourself in Shangri-La? No, right? Obviously not. It's not the religion. The fault is not with the religion, the fault is with the people. So you ask the people who commit these crimes, they have no reason. They are completely lost. They have lost their minds, they have lost their humanity, right? They are living in a imaginary world. That's the problem. So the reason why the Sri Lankan cricketers are attacked in this story is not clear. Even the terrorist organization, I think even they did not have an idea why they wanted to attack the Sri Lankan cricket team. No reason. They might have seen, they might have seen the bus, they might have had their guns, and they might have shot. That's it. No reason behind the attack. There is no proper reason. Even if you Google it, even if you use news resources, there are various answers, but none of those answers make sense. Why would you want to attack a Sri Lankan cricket team? What will you get out of it? Nothing. All right, yeah, you're right, Hafsa. Brainwashed people. They are brainwashed people. You should never judge an entire religion or entire race because of the mistakes of a few people. A few people might make mistakes, but that doesn't mean all of the people are wrong. That's why I did not want to talk about the civil war in Sri Lanka because I am not a Tamil person. I can't talk about that. I might say something wrong. I might say something offensive, and I don't want to hurt someone in this class by saying something wrong. That's why I don't talk about religion and race and whatever related to those sensitive facts inside literature. Even in the examination, you should not talk about religion, race, sex, chauvinism. Very rarely should you talk about those things. You should be a very open minded person, not only in literature. Not only in literature, but in your real life also. You should try to be an open mind person. Because if you hurt someone, it's very hard to, you know, think about what they might be feeling. Right now, for example, imagine there is someone who is suicidal. You might not see it. There might be a person who wants to kill themselves, who's very depressed. They might want to kill themselves. If for some reason, if you be rude to them, for that on that day, for some reason you were rude to them, and that person kills themselves, what a sin that is. So you can never judge a person by looking at them. Apart from that, if you are the reason for someone to be saved. Now, I'm very kind with pupils. Now, even though this doesn't happen often, sometimes pupils call me, sometimes they send me messages saying that they are distressed, they have problems in their life. They have lost a loved one, a known person. So even then, I try to be very kind, because if you can be the reason for someone to change, to become a better person, why should you not be, right? That's a very honorable thing to do. Yeah, the class will be over before 9:30. Don't worry. The grade 10 class will be over before 9:30. And yes, I can speak Tamil well, my friend, but not now. Now I'm inclined to speak in English. You would not understand the Tamil that I speak now. So yeah, thank you for that question, by the way, but not at the moment. I'm not that fluent in Tamil at the moment, because I'm very much inclined to speaking English right now. Even though I'm very fluent in Sinhalese, if you ask me to speak in Sinhalese now, I could not speak in Sinhalese, because at the moment my brain is completely focusing only on English. All right. There's irony here, okay? There is irony here. A part that creates situational irony, okay? A part that creates situational irony. I remember Tilan Tushara being particularly vocal, complaining that his back was near breaking point. Right. So many techniques are found in this text, okay? This is not really an alliteration, but Tilan Tushara is an alliteration, right? Now, when you see two adjacent words beginning with the same sound, it is known as an alliteration. But this is not done on purpose. His real name is Tilan Tushara. I know in this class also there are a few pupils whose names are alliterations. Now, for example, Fatima Fahim. That is an alliteration. Two adjacent words begin with the same sound. What else? I don't see any names at the moment. If your name is an alliteration, can you please raise your hands up? If your name is an alliteration, can you please raise your hands up or send me a message? Yeah, Muhammad Muntazir. Okay. Yeah, Fatima Faim. That's right. Yeah, Nafla Nazir, Muhammad Makshood. Okay, that's a bit hard to pronounce. Then we have, yes, Nadir. I don't know your name properly, my friend. Yeah, Rumana. Yeah, Ishra Ifham. That's an alliteration. That is an alliteration. You're right. Yeah, Nadir Nasir. Okay. So those are names which are alliterations. That means your parents are very well informed about literature. Yeah, Rashid Rifan. All right, cool. So that means your parents are very much informed about literature. When they chose your name, they wanted your name to be an alliteration. That's awesome. Right. I remember Tilam Dushara being particularly vocal. Vocal means he was very loud. He was complaining. He was very loud, particularly, especially. He was very loud, vocal, complaining that his back was near breaking point. Is that true? His back was near breaking point. Can someone's back really break? Now, Tilan Tushara talking, and at once his back breaks. Is that true? No, that's hyperbole. No one's back will break like that. That is hyperbole. He's exaggerating, taking something small and making it into a big deal. Exaggerating. That his back was hurting so much that it was near breaking point. Tilam Tushara being vocal. Vocal means sound. His sound was audible, being vocal, particularly vocal, complaining that his back was near breaking point. Hyperbole. By the way, you spell hyperbole like this, okay? Hyperbole. I don't think you can see this. Let me use a different color. Hyperbole. It is pronounced, it is spelled hyperbole, okay? Hyperbole, but it's pronounced hyperbole, but don't say hyperbole. Hyperbole is like a ball you put in a, like a ball that you bowl. Hyperbole is the right pronunciation. Sometimes in your school, your teacher might say hyperbole, hyperbole, but really it's hyperbole. But don't argue with your teacher. In the class, now imagine your teacher tells you, son, this is hyperbole. Then don't be like, sir, no, it's hyperbole. It's high. You don't know English literature, so it's hyperbole, sir. Don't be like that, okay? Like I said, don't hurt people unnecessarily. I don't want to be the reason that someone gets hurt. So even though your teachers, your friends might say hyperbole, you say hyperbole, but don't correct them. Don't go to argue with them. Your friends, you can tell them it's pronounced hyperbole. If you have any, when writing, it's the same thing, right? When writing, it's the same thing. But when pronouncing, my friends, it's quite prominent. It's quite different, obviously. Hyperbole is the right pronunciation, okay? Yes, okay. His back was near, his back of the bus. We'll talk about that also. That his back was near breaking point. He joked that he wished a bomb would go off so we could all leave Lahore and go back home. Now he's joking, okay? He joked that he wished a bomb would go off. Now he was joking in the sense, did he really want a bomb to go off? Did he really want a bomb to go off? No.
Irony.
Exactly, you're right, my friend. It's irony. It's situational irony. You call that situational irony. What is situational irony? When you don't expect something to happen. Now, for example, I am being ironic. I will be like, imagine, I hope this will not happen. The roof will fall down. The roof will fall on me, right? I'm joking. I don't expect that to happen. I don't expect that to happen. But if that really happens, that is irony, situational irony. I will not expect that. Verbal irony is similar to sarcasm, okay? Verbal irony is what you mean, what you say, you mean the opposite. Verbal irony is when you mean the opposite of what you say. Verbal irony. Right now, for example, imagine someone really ugly, but you call them handsome. Now there's an ugly boy, but I hope there isn't. But there's an ugly boy. You call him, you're so handsome, Ane. There is a person who makes sort of mistakes, who is a bit of an idiot, but you call them genius. Look at what you have done, you genius. You have not done your homework. Yeah, hey there, my friend. I think they are in the wrong waiting room, Hassan. I think they have joined the grade 11 class. The grade 10 class is still going on. The grade 11 students can join the grade 10 class for free, actually. If can you please mention them to try the grade 10 link? Because I don't see anyone in the waiting room, my friend. Usually it should start at 9 o'clock, but sometimes if we are a bit behind schedule, we will take some time for the grade 10 class also. So it will start very soon. And that's why the grade 11 pupils can join the grade 10 class. So they can also, like learn the grade 10 stuff. I hope I'm clear, my friend. Right, fine. Thank you so much for calling then. Okay, take care. All the best. Goodbye. All right. So like I was saying, he was joking. He was not being serious, right? But he did not expect that to happen. He did not at all expect that to happen. That is it's called irony, situational irony. Okay, I hope you understood that. No, tragic irony. Hafsa, tragic irony is not in our syllabus, okay? Tragic irony is not in our syllabus. Tragic irony is somewhat similar to dramatic irony, but dramatic irony can be positive and negative. Tragic irony is always negative. So, but tragic irony is not in our syllabus. Dramatic irony, situational irony, and verbal irony are the only three in the syllabus. By the way, yes, in the end, it was not a bomb. It was not a bomb. But even then, it was an attack, right? Even though it was not a bomb, it was an attack. So they did not expect an attack to happen. That is why we call this situational irony. It is in our syllabus. You can mention this when you are writing your analysis. It will make your analysis look more professional. Okay, we could all leave Lahore and go back home. No, not 30 seconds had passed when we heard that sounded like firecrackers going off. Like firecrackers going off. The sound like firecrackers. That is a well done simile. Yes, by the way, dramatic irony, okay? Dramatic irony means the audience knows what's going to happen in a drama, in a story, in a when you read something. Uh, the audience knows what's happening. They are still in the waiting room, I think. One moment, please. All right, fine. So some pupils are finding it hard to join the class, right? Right. Fine. Let's move forward then. What? Can you see me, by the way? Because the cam doesn't register now.
Yes, sir.
You can't write. Oh crap! Something's wrong with the. One moment. Let me unplug and plug it again. Yeah, please give me a moment, okay? Let's proceed with the class then. Um, right, like firecrackers going off. That is a simile. And remember, another part of dramatic irony. Okay, dramatic irony in the sense, my friends, we don't. The audience knows what's going to happen, but the characters don't know what's going to happen. Now, for example, now today for grade 11, we are doing The Nightingale and the Rose by Oscar Wilde. We have not done that. We had done a seminar actually, but we have not done The Nightingale and the Rose properly. So when you are learning about The Nightingale and the Rose, you'll understand there is dramatic irony. Okay, right. There is a, yeah, it was orange for some reason. I don't know how it became orange. So like I said, dramatic irony is something very prominent in The Twilight of a Crane also. In The Twilight of a Crane, in The Twilight of a Crane, my friend, it's very prominent that the main character, Yohoyo, the main character Yohoyo does not know that his wife is a ghost, is a spirit of a crane, a ghost of a crane. Okay, in The Twilight of a Crane. So in that drama, the audience knew what was going on. The audience knew that Sue, the wife of Yohoyo, she is a ghost of a crane hen. However, Yohoyo did not know, the audience knows what's going on, but the main character doesn't know what's going on. I think I'm lagging here, right? The camera is lagging. Oh God, it's horrible. Right, it will work eventually. Don't worry. I'll get it. I'm not lagging. The camera is not lagging because I saw it was like a bit of the camera was a bit like a bit rough. Yeah, back. Cool. As I was saying, my friends, so like firecrackers going off, that is a simile. Okay, like firecrackers going off, it is a simile. Suddenly, a shout came from the front. Get down! They are shooting at the bus. In this example, we see that the terrorists were shooting at the bus, and the sound that was like firecrackers. Okay, the camera is lagging for some reason. That's crazy, it's horrible, and I don't know why. So in this scenario, in this case, it is clear, it is very obvious that they are being shot because the sound that was like firecrackers is actually bullets hitting the bus. We can move forward here. Make sure you go through this slide again then. Right. So when Tirina joked about being bombed or attacked, he didn't even dream of being attacked, but that is exactly what happened, right? When you don't expect something to happen and that thing exactly happens, or what you expect if the opposite thing happens, it is known as situational irony. And by the way, we have done the Twilight of a Crane, but we are doing that again for revision very soon once we are done with the syllabus. So for the grade 11, the pending lessons, now we have done the Camel's Hump, we have done Richard Cory, we have done I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings for grade 11, we have done the Twilight of a Crane also. So we have covered the grade 11 first term lessons. So because of that, we are doing the Nightingale and the Rose, even though it belongs to grade 10. It is a lesson we had done very long ago. So after the Nightingale and the Rose, we are doing the Camel's Hump. Oh no, War is Kind. After the Nightingale and the Rose, we are doing War is Kind. And yes, some of you have seen my videos on YouTube. I'm really glad. I'm really yes, touched that you were able to take a look at the videos on YouTube. That's the reason I upgraded my computer, because I wanted to make more YouTube videos. I wanted to discuss about literature on YouTube, which is free, obviously, which is free. So that's why I bought I upgraded my computer. That's why I wanted to, upgrade and create more videos. So with a better computer, I can create more faster and more quality videos. That's the reason. So thank you so much for your words, my friends. Those words are what keep me motivated. Those words are exactly what keeps me motivated. So yeah. I have not uploaded recently, but I will be uploading very soon on YouTube. All right, fine. So now remember, what is situational irony? It is when the characters don't expect something to happen, but that thing happens. When what you expect, the opposite thing happens. Another example, imagine you are eating a banana and you throw the banana peel. Out of all of the people in the world, you are the person who has thrown away that banana peel, and you are the person who knows where that banana peel is. Will it be ironic, or it would be ironic if you slipped and fell on that exact banana peel? Okay. So like I said, my friend, that is a situational irony. And the YouTube channel, you can Google my name actually, Javed Ossen, JAVEDOSSEN, and you can find only a few YouTube videos. But in the future, I will be making more, definitely. Right. Hikma asks, what is the difference between sarcasm then? No, sarcasm and verbal irony are both the same thing. Okay. Sarcasm, verbal irony are almost the same thing. It's when what you mean the opposite. Sarcasm or verbal irony. Now, for example, like I said, imagine your friend Fatima, a different Fatima, not the Fatimas in this class, a different Fatima. She's fat, and you say that, Fatima, you look so beautiful, you look so thin, Nane. But Fatima is actually fat. That is verbal irony. It is not targeted towards anyone in this class. It's just a name. Right. Soliloquy is a completely different literary device. Soliloquy is a completely different literary device. It is not even close to irony. It is not even close to situational irony. Soliloquy, we'll talk about it in a different class. Soliloquy was found in dramas. It's usually found in dramas. It was found in the Twilight of a Crane. Right, the recording of the Camel's Hump. I will have to look for the recording, my friend. I will get back to you regarding that, okay? Right. Then we have humor. Taranga Paranivitana on his debut. What's this word? It's not debut. It's pronounced a debut. What is, I can't pronounce this word, my friend. V that. Not really sure that you have, someone has asked me a question. I'm not really sure about the word. Right. Debut is when someone comes to the public eye for the first time. An actor's debut, right? An actor becomes uh, is publicized for the first time in their life, or a cricketer who plays an international match for the first time in their life. Wrestlers have debuts. Now, John Cena has a debut. Roman Reigns has his debut. It's called debut. It's the first time when someone is shown to the public eye. Okay, so his debut tour, his first ever international tour, is also next to me. He stands up, bullets flying all around him, shouting, "I have been hit," as he holds his blood-soaked chest, his chest soaked in blood. Such a powerful visual imagery. His blood-soaked chest. He collapsed onto his seat, apparently unconscious. After this, something very humorous. Look at what Kumar Sangakkara says. Even though this is a gruesome incident, Kumar Sangakkara is not afraid. Why? Is Kumar Sangakkara the reader? No, he's the narrator. Bullets are not only flying around Taranga Paranavitana. Bullets are not only flying around Taranga Paranavitana. Bullets are flying around Kumar Sangakkara also. So even then, now when you are in danger, he still finds something humorous. Do you see? Kumar Sangakkara is unafraid. I see him and think, oh my God, you were out first ball, run out the next innings, and now you have been shot. What a terrible first tour. He was out first ball. That means in the first ball that he was supposed to bat, he was out. Okay, that is bad luck, obviously. Afterwards, run out in the next innings. In the next match, he was run out. That means in that match also he was out. And then finally, shot. And now you're shot. And now you have been shot. What a terrible first tour. Terrible means insanely bad. Terrible means very bad, insanely bad. So Kumar Sangakkara is finding humor. He's not really talking. He's not really talking to Paranavitana, okay? He's not really talking to the cricketer. He is, in this case, he's thinking and he says, what a terrible first tour. This is not a question, by the way. This is a statement. Even though the statement begins with what? It is not a question. It is a statement. He's exclamating. It's an exclamation. He says that, what a terrible first tour it is, right? No, this is not an aside. Asides are only found in dramas. But you are right. It is like an aside. But asides are only found in dramas. Aside is found in The Bear by Anton Chekhov. In this example, my friends, we see that this creates humor. So now he thinks this man is shot and Kumar Sangakkara is also being shot at. But Kumar Sangakkara looks at him and thinks, oh my God, you were out first ball, run out the next innings, and now you have been shot. Right. And by the way, debut, D-U-B, D, in this case, my friend, D-E-B-U-T, debut, okay? It means the first time someone becomes public, the first time an actor, a cricketer, a wrestler comes in front of the public's eye, debut. Now, actors have their debut movies, right? Now, for example, Tom Cruise's debut film. Okay, equally, cricketers have their debuts, right? The first time they play or they perform in front of the public's eye, debut. Okay, exactly. Debut refers to his first match also. You're right, Anisha. Debut also refers to his first match. You're right. But not only in cricket, in any form of entertainment, you see debuts. Actors have debuts. Self-awareness and fearlessness of the protagonist. Kumar Sangakkara is self-aware. He understands what kind of a person he is, and he is not afraid. Okay, look at this. It is strange how clear your thinking is. I did not see my life flash by. There was no insane panic. There was absolute clarity and awareness of what was happening at the moment. Now, yeah, my friend. Yes, my friend, how can I help you? Someone had a question. Am I lagging? No, right? Yes, soliloquy is in our syllable, Nadir. Syllabus, Nadir. Soliloquy. Yes, that is a simile. You're right. It was like rain on a tin roof. That is a simile. I believe that is mentioned here also, right? Now, what do we see here? It is strange how clear your thinking is. I did not see my life flash by. So, seeing your life flash by when you're really scared, when you are about to face death, we usually see our lives flashing by our eyes when our lives are threatened, right? So, when you are in a car accident, when you are for some reason threatened by a beast, right? When a dog chases you, your life would flash before your eyes. You would be so afraid. Life flashing before your eyes will not happen in a good incident. It would happen in a negative, dangerous incident. But here is Kumar Sangakkara afraid? Is he like, Budu Ammo, like when he gets shot, is he like, Budu Ammo, Aduna Neda Mata? Is he like crying? Is he like, weeping? No, he's unafraid. Even Kumar Sangakkara was shot on the shoulder. But even then, he was not afraid. That is obviously something that you can note down here, and that shows that he's a brave individual. It is strange how clear your thinking is. I didn't see my life flash by. Not your thinking, his thinking, right? He's talking about his thinking. It is strange how clear your thinking is. I did not see my life flash by. There was no insane panic. There was absolute clarity. Everything was clear, and awareness of what was happening at that moment. I was aware, I understood what was going on at that moment. Remember, we usually see our lives flashing before our eyes when we face danger. Right. Then we have IS. Um, there is a mix of emotions in the dressing room after the attack: anger, relief, joy, but not fear. The cricketers were not crying. Now imagine you almost died. Imagine if you almost died, you would be emotional, right? But the cricketers were not crying. Kumar Sangakkara does not portray the cricketers to be a bunch of cowards. What does he do? The life threatening event is undercut with joy and laughter. You're right. He is optimistic. Being optimistic. Actually, Kumar Sangakkara is being optimistic. It is not empathy. It is optimism. You call it optimism. So Kumar Sangakkara is being optimistic. It is optimism. You're right. He's brave also, Hafsa. He's brave also. What else? Right, then we have realization, empathy, and sympathy. We all realize that what some of our fellow Sri Lankans experience every day for nearly 30 years. Again, he's talking about the civil war in Sri Lanka, right? I told you I will not talk about that, but he is reminding us about the civil war in Sri Lanka. We all realize that what some of our fellow Sri Lankans experience every day for nearly 30 years, there was a new respect and awe for their courage and selflessness. Now he's talking about the soldiers. The soldiers experienced war for 30 years, a civil war. They put their lives on the line, their limbs, their bodies, their health, every single thing on the line for the country. So now he has learned to look at them with respect and awe. Respect means, you know what that means? Awe means amazement, right? Awe means amazement. So he looks at soldiers with amazement because the cricket team briefly faced death, but soldiers prominently face death, right? They relentlessly face death. Again and again, they have to face death on behalf of the country. So now Kumar Sangakkara has respect for soldiers, and he also has looks at them with awe, with surprise, right? With surprise, amazement, not surprise, amazement. He looks at them, right? Going down with a bang. We were shot at, grenades were thrown at us, we were injured, and yet we were not cowed. We were not cowards. We were not cowed. This is the heaviest part in the story. This is the heaviest part in the speech. This is the heaviest part in the text. Okay, and in this part, they don't talk about the civilians. They talk about the soldiers. But in the first part, he talks about the civilians also, the people who were facing the people who were facing the war geographically. He talked about the soldiers in the beginning, but here he is not. He talked about the civilians and the soldiers in the beginning, but in the ending, he talks about only about the soldiers. Right. And yes, empathy is also prominent. You're right. What else? We were shot at, grenades were thrown at us, we were injured, and yet we were not cowed. We were not afraid. We faced death like men, like Sri Lankans. So that is another prominent part, a very heavy part in the text. We were not down and out. We are Sri Lankan. We thought to ourselves, and we are tough, and we will get through hardships, and we will overcome because our spirit is strong. This can be exercised, this can be shared by anyone. If you are Sri Lankan, you can make this relevant, you can make this quote relevant to yourself. The emotion of this quotation can be felt by you also. You're right, team spirit is spoken here. You're right, team spirit is spoken here. Apart from that, the important word, this is a true story, by the way. What is the important word here? Patriotism. Patriotism. How can you find patriotism? We are Sri Lankan. We thought to ourselves, and we are tough, and we will get through hardships, and we will overcome because our spirit is strong. Remember, the word we is repeated many times, right? This is repetition. The word we is repeated many times. Again, repetition brings out importance. We were not down and out. We are Sri Lankan. We thought to ourselves, and we are tough, and we will get through hardships, and we will overcome because our spirit is strong. So that is very patriotic of Sangakkara. Okay, exactly. Proud to be a Sri Lankan indeed. This is a proud to be a Sri Lankan moment. Right, then a soldier's prayer. A soldier meets Kumar Sangakkara in the end of the Lahore attack text. Remember, this is not the entire speech. This is only a part of the speech, but a very important part indeed. It is okay if I die because it is my job and I am ready for it. But you are a hero, and if you were to die, it would be a great loss for our country. If you were to die, by the way, the grammar is correct. Remember, if you, yes, that's completely fine. If you were to die, it would be a great loss for the country. So do you understand? The soldier is being selfless, even though the soldier is a person who is more important. The soldier is a person who is willing to give their life for the country. The soldier in the checkpoint still thinks that Kumar Sangakkara is his life, Kumar Sangakkara's life, is far more valuable than the soldier's life. It is okay if I die because it is my job and I am ready for it. But you are a hero, and if you were to die, it would be a great loss for our country. I was taken aback. How can this man value his life less than mine? His sincerity was overwhelming. I felt humbled. Here, the tone is humbleness. The tone is humble. The tone is humbleness. In the sense, Kumar Sangakkara feels humbled. Right. This is a fragment of the lecture. And yes, the tone here is humbleness, empathy, sympathy. But most importantly, humbleness is prominent in this extract because he feels humbled. What the narrator feels during the text is the tone or the attitude. Right, fine. We are done with the presentation for today. A few questions will be given to you, right? Don't worry. The class will be over by 10 o'clock. After 10 o'clock, we will begin the grade 11 class. We'll be doing the Nightingale and the Rose. Next week, once we are done with the Nightingale and the Rose, we'll be doing War is Kind, Stephen Crane. Okay, so we are covering the syllabus as we move forward. We are doing a lot of analysis. We will be doing an analysis for Farewell to Barn and Stack and Tree next week. But before that, you have to answer a few questions from the Lahore attack. Even though you're grade 10, grade 11, you should be doing your homework. Send your homework to me. Sometimes I might not be able to take a look, but relentlessly, eventually, I will be correcting your homework. I will warrant you that I will definitely correct your homework and give you a feedback regarding your submission. Right. Name drops of the team. Right. Name drops means you are dropping their names in the text. Teammates. The names of the teammates of the Sri Lankan cricket team when the incident took place is mentioned here. Okay. So the name drop means you are mentioning a name. Okay. Sadly, all of them are retired now. Right. First, we have Tilan Tushar. Tilan Tushar was the person who said that his back was about to break. This is how he looks like. And yes, even in this picture, it seems like his leg is broken. That's why he might be heading like this. But Tilan Tushar was the person who wanted to, who said that his back was about to break. Then we have, what else? We have Mahela Jayavardhana, Sangakkara's best friend. They have a friendship that continues to this day. They are partners of a business actually. The Ministry of Crab is owned by both Kumar Sangakkara and Mahela Jayavardhana. Right, fine. I will definitely send you my number. I will give you my number in the end of the session. Give me a moment, please. Then we have Taranga Paranavitana. He was shot in the chest, right? So even in this picture, he seems like he's being shot. Oh no, it seems like he's about to attack the terrorist. In this picture, it seems like he's about to attack the terrorist who shot his chest. Okay. Then we have Ajanta Mendis. Yeah, he looks like a terrorist. In this picture, Ajanta Mendis looks like a terrorist. He makes me feel afraid. Right. Then we have, that's it, right? Those are the players whose names were mentioned in the text. Here are a few questions you can try out. Now, remember, some of the questions might be hard for you, but nothing to worry. We will discuss all of these questions in our next week's class. And afterwards, we'll be learning how to write an analysis, not only for the Lahore attack, but also for farewell to Barn and Stack Entry. We have not yet read the text. So next week, we will read the text also. Be ready for that. There will be a very successful reading session. But before I start reading, hopefully you will take around 20 minutes and read the Lahore attack by yourself. There are only 4 short stories, only 4 prose in your text. Stop procrastinating. Procrastinating means stop doing other unnecessary things. Focus on your syllabus, get it done, and have fun. All right. I will not talk about these questions in this week because we are out of time, but I will talk about this in our next session. I will share the tute also with everyone because a lot of you tell me that the tute has not been uploaded. I will also upload the tute under grade 11, but at the moment, I will share the tutes with you. Right. This is the Lahore attack presentation. And then I will share my phone number also, right? I think it's, it should be uploaded. It should be uploaded by now. One moment. The Lahore attack presentation. That's it. Right. It is uploading. So please confirm if you have got it. It has been uploaded to all of you. No, it's been uploaded only to one person. One moment. Let me upload this to everyone. One moment. Right here. Right. Now, the presentation has been uploaded towards everyone. So please do your homework. Those of you who are new to the class, this is the phone number you need to contact in order to submit your homework or request for previous tutes. Sometimes it might take me some time to reply to your messages, but that doesn't mean I'm ghosting you. Most of the time I'm very busy, but I will definitely get back to your inquiries and get back to your recordings and your tutes and your homework. The number you need to contact is not 77-963-9434. If you are new, mention your name, your school, mention your grade, and mention your year for the examination. Mention all of these and send me a message through WhatsApp. If you can confirm whether you have received the tute, I can end our session now. Send the tute in WhatsApp. Yes, I will definitely send you the tute through WhatsApp. Right. Please send me a message and I will send you not only this tute, but all of the tutes. Now, at the moment, not only that, if you live in Colombo, if you live near Colombo, you can always come get the physical printouts of the tutes. Absolutely free. Okay. I will not charge you. The physical printouts of the tutes will be absolutely free. Right. Then now it's lagging. For this long, it did not even lag once, right? Very surprising. Usually it lags a lot, but now today it did not lag, which is awesome. Then, my friends, we will be ending today's session. Thank you so much for joining. It is always a pleasure and honor being your literature teacher. Please do your homework. The Eagle PDF. One moment. The Eagle PDF is also necessary. Then there are 2 tutes regarding the Eagle. Let me upload both of them. The analysis, and then we want the presentation also. Right here, fine. We have the Eagle analysis and the Eagle presentation also. So make sure you go through all of the tutes whenever you are free. Get the printouts from me or get the printouts yourself. From next month onwards, you'll be receiving the printouts through the post. It might take some time because it's through the post, right? Nevertheless, a pleasure teaching you. What you see on my screen is my phone number. You can contact me if you need anything else. Then we will end today's session. Thank you so much for joining. Have a amazing, awesome night. If you are grade 11, I will see you exactly in 15 minutes. I will begin the meeting now. I will see you exactly in 15 minutes. That means 10:15. I will see you at 10:15. We will be doing the Nightingale and the Rose. We will be doing a bit of presentation and then we'll start reading, because the Nightingale and the Rose is a very prominent part in our syllabus. A dramatic reading session. The wrong presentation. What is the wrong presentation, my friend? One moment. There's someone in the waiting room also. Wait, what is the wrong presentation? The eagle. Right. Let me upload the eagle again then. Okay. One moment. Everyone in the meeting, and let me take a file here and let me upload the eagle again. The eagle presentation. Right. Fine. I've uploaded that also. I've uploaded the eagle presentation also. The Lahore attack wrong presentation, is it? One moment, I think. Yeah, Lahore attack wrong presentation, I think. Right, one moment. Yeah, hey there. Walaikum salam. How can I help you? Right. Has she used the grade 11 link or grade 10 link? Ah, yeah, it's like this. The grade 11 students can also join the grade 10 class. And now only have I entered the grade 10 class. So the grade 11 class will begin now. So from next week onwards, if you can ask her to join the grade 10 class, it will be advantageous, right? So then she can learn the grade 10 syllabus, and it's for free, by the way. You can. There's another class, right? I understood, right. Yeah, exactly. She can join the grade 10 class, but now the grade 10 class is over. We'll begin the grade 11 class right now in 10 minutes more. Right. Thank you so much for calling then. Yeah, take care. All the best. Goodbye. Right. I think I have shared the wrong Lahore attack presentation, I think, right?
Sir, you're lagging.
Am I lagging? Wait. Have I shared the wrong Lahore attack presentation? I think so, right? One moment. Let me check that all. Let me clarify that also, then we can end the session. One moment. Where is it? Yeah, I've shared the wrong presentation, my friend. Where is the nail here? Give me a moment, please. The Lahore attack presentation. Yeah, this is the wrong presentation. It's something else. Crap. Let me delete this. Wait. In the website also, I think I've uploaded the wrong presentation then. One moment. Where is it? Yeah. Hey there, my friend. How can I help you? Oh, fine. But I shall share it with you. No issue at all. Please send me a message through WhatsApp, my friend. I'll share it right now. I'm sorry? Yeah, thank you so much, my friend. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for the feedback. Right. Sure. Then, yeah, I'll see you at the grade 11 class. Take care. All the best. Goodbye. Right. I have given you the wrong, the wrong presentation, actually. I'll send that to you right now. I'll correct that right now. Yeah, hey there, Nadir. How can I help you? Just give me a moment, okay? I will send this right now. That's a lot more easier. Hey, what's going on, Nadir? How are you? How do you want, how can I help you, my friend? It's a wrong tute, right? Understood. I will share the tute on the website then, definitely. Right, cool. Thank you so much for calling, my friend. Yeah, take care, my friend. Goodbye. All the best. Right. Yeah, at the moment, I'm not able to. What's it called? Get the tute. I will share. I will upload it on the website. Then I'll upload the exact same tute on the website then, because we are taking a lot more time than I expected. So 10:15 will begin the grade 11 class. At the moment, I will start the meeting. Then thanks a lot for joining. Apologies for the misunderstanding here. Even I don't know what happened to the presentation. Then all of you take care. All the best. I shall see you next week. Same place, same time. Right. And yeah, pleasure. Goodbye. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
my friend.
God
Goodbye.
bless.
Thank you.
You too. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure,
Thank you,
my
sir.
friend.